the Can We Talk Y'all podcast, where you can have conversation
without moderation.
A 90s feel
that hasn't lost its appeal.
With two girls and a guy
will catch your eye,
but not like that. So get your mind out of the gutter
and let's unclutter what happened this week.
Al, start this damn show.
And what's up? We are back with the Can We Talk Y'all show. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about Diddy. Everybody knows what's in the news right now. Diddy has been put in jail and denied bail. And it's crazy. This topic is really crazy. So we're just going to kind of give a little overview. In the studio with me tonight is Abru.
I am here, and I like how the little rap lyric you put together, Diddy is in jail and not giving bail. You almost had a little rap lyric there.
Sounds a little like Johnny Cochran a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
So, y'all, this is crazy. Diddy trying to post bail, trying to convince the judge to take his $50 million so that he could get out on bail for these crimes that span all the way back to 2008. Am I right? 2008? Mm-hmm. All this stuff that he's been doing. Even after the leaking of the video footage where he was running down the hall in his towel, trying to stop his girlfriend from escaping, I guess, because the way he charged at her, after her, it seemed like he was trying to stop her from escaping. Even after all of that hit the press and was released. And so it seems a little crazy that we are here at this time, but at least we do seem to have some sensible people that are paying attention and feel like this man should not be out on bail. Of course, he's being charged by the feds, so we know their success rate, so that we feel like they must have a pretty tight case. But, Abru, you want to kind of chime in, give us your thoughts on this whole thing?
I think Diddy done did it this time around. My personal opinion.
Diddy done did it.
You know, my personal opinion is that people can't continue to say stuff about you and it's not be true. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah.
You know, one person might say something and be like, well, maybe they're lying. Two people. But now the world is coming out and saying this, and it's evidence of him with his when he beat Cassie. And if he was willing to do that in a hotel where there's all kind of cameras,
right? I
can only imagine what that woman went through behind closed doors. But Diddy been telling us who he was years. You remember on the commercial yesterday, I can't remember the talk show host. He was like, you have to lock the doors because if you ain't got what they want, they'll try to escape. Like and people thought it was a joke or laugh. Yeah. They was laughing in the audience, but he been telling you what he been up to for years.
Yeah, I felt like it is crazy, the level of abuse. And the number of people that are coming out. This is nothing unusual because with all other high profile, cases, you tend to have like a series of women that just come out. And when one person is brave enough to step forward, to come out and tell their stories, it seems to open the floodgates, and then we hear about more. But even in like the news, like, all the way back to, some things that may have been done to Usher and some things that may have been done to Bieber, just in that whole entertainment world where we know there's so much evil and corruption going on. you like these people at some point, just like, you know, we felt about R. Kelly, for example, you know, that you looked up to them, their music, you respected their art and what they did. And then it's kind of like, you know, you get to a place and you just have to say, hey, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. And it's something twisted and sick about what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, the industry is sick and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't start with Diddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These freak offs and all kind of molestation. I don't know if it was any molestation, so let me take that out. But my thing is the abuse of women and men. I heard, so alleged. But it didn't start with Diddy. This demon been around a long time ago. Remember when the in Sodom and Gomorrah, remember when they wanted to rape the angels at Lot House? This is an old demon, man.
Right.
And
well, it's nothing new under the sun.
Exactly.
No sin is new under the sun.
So what we're seeing now is just things being exposed. The veil has been torn, and these things is coming to light. And I think a lot more people are going to be exposed. I think a lot of people is running scared, and trying to hide and cover. And with Diddy not getting bail, let me say that. I don't know if it's for his protection or for the world's protection, because it's alleged that it's some high-powered people on these tapes, more than just celebrities and rappers and movie stars. It's alleged that there's dignitaries and big-time politicians. So I wonder, is that for Diddy's protection not to be let out, or for the world's protection from him? You know what I mean? So,
I wouldn't doubt it. I just thought it was really weird the way he came back in the country. You know, he's off in another country, fleeing. You know, when they did the search and all of that, you know, he left the country, and he's so bold as to come back in the country and think that nobody's going to be watching or nobody's going to kind of catch up with him. I'm sure if the feds, you know, wanted him, they would have went over to the country and got him. But it just to come back with that level of boldness, that just to me says, you know, you've been doing this for years. You've been getting away with it for years. And you just, for some reason, you think you're untouchable, to just come back and, you know, with that assumption. So, I mean, you know, to come back over here and expect nothing to happen, to me, you know, that it's hard to believe that he would even make that kind of a move. It's hard to believe, but then it's not so hard to believe because, you know, he's been getting away with it for all this time. I want to talk a little bit about the mindset of the victim. And I'm a woman, so I'm going to come from the female perspective. But I'm just, you know, trying to relate, trying to get in the mindset. And perhaps maybe I can't even empathize. You know, maybe I'm sitting on the sidelines and all I can do is sympathize with what these ladies are going through because I myself have not experienced something like this. But I'm trying to figure out like what makes a person put up with it and what makes them stay. And I understand fame, fortune, maybe cars, access to money that you might not otherwise have. But to give my body, you know, and allow the abuse, the sexual abuse, you know, he is allowing prostitutes and things have sex with his girlfriend. He's probably doing it himself. He's watching. He's beating on her in the hallway. You know, what kind of mindset or what kind of dark place do you go to that you don't feel that you can escape that? And I think the R. Kelly docuseries kind of put us in the place of like, you know, these men just brainwashing these women and just certain type of control. But what do you think about that, Edward?
I guess Siri listening to us in the studio. However, I think being honest with you, power and control, you know what I mean? These men, They got masses amount of wealth. They got masses amount of fans. And it didn't start at the level of abuse. It started with mind control, Jedi tricks, you know what I mean, military tactics. And once a person got your mind, they got you. You know what I mean? You willing to pretty much die for that person. And that woman stayed there for 10 years. She dated that man for 10 years. So what we saw on tape is his brazenness of, I'm going to walk out here and drag her in. What if somebody was out there waiting on the elevator? He would have did it in front of them?
Right.
So that let me know he was so comfortable with the domestic violence against that woman. So he didn't care who was around. Now, my thing was the victim is just control. You know, when somebody is constantly taking care of you, you know, from feeding you to providing your meals, to your home, your cars, your bank account, the lifestyle that you would like, sometimes you'll put up with stuff more than you think you would. You know what I mean? I know people say they won't do this or do that until they actually in that position.
Absolutely.
To do stuff.
Absolutely. Because I wouldn't doubt that any of these women at any given moment prior to their abuse, I can't imagine that they would be like, yeah, I just want to be abused. You know, who says that? Who says that, you know, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to, you know, get involved with somebody that takes care of me and then treats me like, you know, shit, you know,
Exactly.
Like who's going to do that? And so I know there's something I know it's some kind of breakdown of the mind. We see it all the time, even in domestic abuse. You know, I go back to the movie Burn in Bed, you know, back in the 80s, and you saw her put up with abuse. And it's kind of just like I feel like as a woman, if you don't stop it the first time, that it just continues to overtake you, and maybe it just spins out of control from that point. So I don't want to make light at all about people's abuse, you know, backgrounds in it and their experiences with it at all. I really wanted to think about and try to put myself in the shoes of the women that succumb to the abuse of, you know, people like R. Kelly, people like Puff Daddy. And yeah, just it's horrible.
But let me say this. If you're the breadwinner for your family and you're taking care of your family lavishly, even though it's costing you a butt whipping or having to sleep with men that you don't want to do this, but you see how happy your family is, because who knows what her family grew up or was they poor or what, you know what I mean? I think she was from South Brazil. She wouldn't, you know what I mean? I think her family, so she might have been the breadwinner, so she might have been putting up stuff to take care of her family, you know, unfortunately. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, but one thing I did say, I said this on a Diddy podcast on the Avery Asherell show, is that no real father will see his daughter getting beat like that and not do nothing about it. I don't give a damn about a Diddy celebrity status. He would have to see me as a man, seeing my daughter laying there, you kick her like a dog. Like I said, with the R. Kelly guys, and them guys was outside screaming for their daughter's name, and not me. The door coming off the hinges, and it is what it is. That's a father's love. I'm going to be willing to die for mine. So seeing that, and I was wondering why family and nobody did it, but she might have been a breadwoman taking care of them today, telling them, hey, I got it, I can deal with it, I'm gonna send y'all some more money, I'm gonna send y'all this house or whatever. You just never know.
Yeah, so you brought up a couple of good points in what you were saying. So one being the undue pressure that a family can place on an individual who is providing for their family. It could be, legitimate or not legitimate, and by not legitimate, I mean one of these situations where, I'm kind of under the resources of the person that I'm with to take care of me. So obviously Cassie is making her own money, and she's probably, could take care of herself, but maybe she has to go up a whole nother level to get things, maybe to provide for a family. So this is strictly hypothetical. Me and Abru don't know that this was the case. Exactly. We're just trying to look at it from all angles. So sometimes the family can put pressure on you. Sometimes they don't know the abuse that's going on. And sometimes it's just like, why don't you know? So that's the second point that you spoke about that I want to bring up, that you were saying, like, how do these parents just hand these kids, sometimes young adults, just hand them over to people in this industry, and why aren't they picking up on signs, and why aren't they beating down doors to, get their loved ones back? It's something, again, that we saw in the documentary. I'm pretty sure that Diddy will have a documentary out there in due time after his trial. We'll learn some additional facts about what was going on, but handing your kid over, and people did this all the time. People spent the night at Michael Jackson's, and you just wonder, like, why would the parents just let their kid over like that?
Sometimes family makes sacrifices for a come up at the child or a family member's detriment. It can be selfish. It's all hypothetical. It's all alleged. But yeah, sometimes we don't know, man. Greed is a powerful drug, antidote. You know what I mean? They greed, man. You got to stand on your morals to fight greed. If somebody place enough money in your face.
Right. So. And the greed could be on both sides. So the greed can be on the victim's side. But just look at the type of life that Diddy had to run this enterprise. You had to have people around you. You had to have people watching out so your victims couldn't get away. You had to have people, just everywhere, flying with them, from one state to another state. The charges were sex trafficking and racketeering.
And prostitution.
Yes. Yes. So to run this type of operations, to have these freak off parties, to have, I'm assuming he had some people do NDAs, were they non-disclosures?
Yes.
Okay. So there's all these pieces of how he was covering up all this enterprise that he was running. And let's talk about the people that surrounded and that participated in this with them. Like, okay, you might could argue that friends that got to participate in freak offs, maybe they had some sick desire for this sex, or watching the sex, or the prostitutes may have enjoyed it, or maybe they just enjoy getting paid off of it. But that's a lot of people that have remained silent. I know we were hearing bits and pieces prior to 2016 when the event with Cassie happened in the hallway. We're all like learning and hearing bits and pieces of information from other entertainers like Cat Williams. We're hearing what it's like to be in Hollywood, but all these people silent. Nobody thought, hey, let's go together and let's report this, in numbers. It's sickening. Because
a lot of them allegedly participated in these freak offs.
Yeah.
So if you participated in this thing, well, you don't want to incriminate yourself, you know what I mean? Because now you're accessory to all this, and who knows how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Right.
Like I said, there's allegedly to have dignitaries and politicians on these tapes that they found. So with that said, man, either that man is the boogeyman himself, or he got a lot of money where he was he was making a lot of people happy with money, or he had a lot of fear in people.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah. And had something on him. I'm pretty sure, like you said, the rabbit hole could have went way deep, even with the people that were allowed to be around him. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Well, y'all, that'll be all for today. We will look forward to another show with you. Take care, and we'll be back soon.